And there's going to be one decision that feels a little more open, feels a little more expansive. Hey guys, what's up, what's going on? My name is Sabrina and welcome back to my channel. Here in the Better You community, we talk about all things self-growth and spirituality. And in today's video, we're gonna be getting into how to know if the decision you're about to make is coming from your higher self, your intuition, or from ego, from fear. If you like what you hear today, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up to help with the channel. Feel free to subscribe and hit that bell button to be notified every time I post a new video. And without further ado, let's get into it. So how do you know if a decision that you're making is coming from your higher self or ego, right? Because the decision, it's going to, whatever decision we make is going to put us on like completely different paths, right? And so I want you to become really aware, don't mind my cat, but really aware of what thoughts are really going on in your head. What thoughts are really stemming this decision that feels really hard to make, that you might feel really back and forth on. Because I know when I've in the past been really stuck on a decision and questioning myself, whether it's coming from higher self or ego, like I would be back and forth in my head about it for months, right? So I want you to really reflect and question what is stemming these thoughts, what's stemming from these thoughts. If you have a thought of like, say like quitting your job, for example, like if you have a thought like, oh, I should quit my job, or also like I shouldn't, it's safety, it's security, or like the people there are so nice, or like whatever, like what's stemming each side of the equation. And this is just an example, but oftentimes our intuition speaks and we don't really understand like why we feel called to do something. Oftentimes you know it's your intuition when it seems like really off the wall and you can't even logically think of like why you would make this decision. And also like logic is really connected to the ego, to the human mind, right? Intuition is more so connected to our soul speaking through us, our higher self speaking through us, our ancestors speaking through us. And so oftentimes things from our intuition isn't going to make as much sense. We're gonna be like, why do I feel really called to quit my job right now? Or why do I feel really called to like work somewhere else right now? And then you might be like, oh, but that doesn't make sense. And oh, like I need to stay here and the people here are so nice, and you have like all these reasons for why you need to stay in this job. So really try to investigate your mind and ask yourself, what is really stemming these thoughts? And also seeing like what comes up repetitively. Okay, so just for like a personal example, and I'm only sharing this example with the intention that it'll help give you guys some more understanding around this, but when it came to me and my last relationship, right? For the longest time, I felt pulled, I felt called. I was like, I feel like we need to break up. And then all the reasons in the world of like, but he's such a great guy, he's so nice, like I feel so comfortable with him, like all these reasons of like, maybe he's my soulmate, like whatever. All these reasons came up. But then I kept feeling this pull, like you need to leave him, like you need to break up with him, like you need to leave. And I was like I don't know what to do. And I was so in my head for months and months and months. And I was questioning if my intuition was even coming from fear. I was like, is this from like some wounding of me like not wanting to get hurt, me like trying to leave him because like I'm afraid of getting hurt or something? And I was even like questioning the thoughts that were coming from my intuition. But what I found is often our intuition speaks first and our ego typically comes after that. Like we have an intuitive hit and then our ego is like, but what about this? And what about that? And what if this happens? And what if that happens? And it comes with like all the different reasons and excuses and blah, 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 of all the different reasonings of like why you shouldn't do it or why you should do it or blah, 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 right? It like argues against it because our ego is really just trying to keep us safe, right? It's our human mind. It's trying to keep us in what we know. It's trying to keep us in our comfort. It's trying to help us to survive, not thrive. Our intuition is helping us to thrive to our highest potential. It really knows like what our soul desires and wants. And so when I had the intuitive hit of like, you need to leave him, and then I had all the other reasons, like I'm seeing it now, being able to look back of being like, that was my intuition speaking, and then that was my ego like really clogging up my mind. And I have a couple of videos on listening to your intuition, but I'll just say it again, like it's really important to note that our intuition speaks pretty quietly. A lot of times it's like inner knowings. A lot of times it's, you just have a feeling you should do something, right? Or you just have a thought and you're like, for some reason, like, I feel like I should do this. And the ego is really like all the worries, all the fears, all the anxieties. It's really loud, it's really sudden. And so just to reflect back on this, if you're stuck in making a decision, asking yourself, okay, which of these thoughts are stemmed from that loud, frantic, anxious, worrisome base, right? And those you'll be able to see that those are coming from your ego, just trying to keep you safe. Those thoughts. And it's when you have those overwhelming thoughts of like, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if I won't be okay? Blah, blah, blah. It's okay. Like, you can just honestly journal dump. This is what I do a lot of times. I'll journal dump all the like excessive thoughts that my ego is coming up with in my head. And then I recognize it. I'm like, okay, like this is my ego. These thoughts are not helping me to like thrive. It's only trying to keep me safe and to survive. And I'll kind of like speak to myself, speak to my own mind and be like, okay, like I see you, ego. Like, thank you for doing your best to keep me safe. Thank you for having all of the reasons come up to like, you know, keep me safe and help me survive in this world. But I also know that I'm choosing to listen to my intuition now. And you can like scribble them out, you can crumple up, you can burn the piece of paper, but either way, that's like it's like a symbolization of you're going to notice the egotistical fear-based thoughts and just set them aside. And then choose to listen to your intuition. And when those ego thoughts come up, pause, realize, okay, I understand that this is my intuition. Okay, I'm gonna set it to my side and listen to my intuition again. And that's how you really begin to move forward with living with your intuition. And we go so much more in depth in this in my signature program, Master Your Energy, because of how impactful it is to be living through your intuition. Because when you follow your intuition, it's like you're stepping onto your highest path, which means there are like a million different paths that we could live on, right? Like paths of lives. And our highest path is the one where we are the most fulfilled, feel the most love, the most successful, we have the most abundance. Like, we are the highest version of ourselves, the highest aspect of ourselves in human form. And when you follow your intuition really does its best to lead you, to guide you on the path of the least resistance. So the path that's easiest for you, the path where you learn the lessons most mercifully, right? The path where things just kind of like work out for you and fall into your lap. And I knew that decision of breaking up with my ex was the right one for me, because it was probably a few weeks after that I really just felt like an overall sense of peace after I got over like the initial aspects of the grief part, because me and him were together for like 3.5 years. We had just picked out and moved into a house together. And so once I got over the initial like aspects of the grief part, and then as the seas started to part and I started to feel at ease, and I was like, no, this really was the right decision. Like, even though I was so in my head back and forth about it for months and months, for a very long time, you know, this really was the right decision. And then since then, things have been able to flow so much more effortlessly into my life. And I knew it was the right intuitive decision because of the way I felt. Like, really look inward, really see like how you feel. And another like hack for this is when you're thinking of making a decision and which one will serve you more, because remember, if it serves you more, it serves the collective more. If it serves you more, if it's the best for you, it's the best for everyone else, especially everyone else involved. Like, even though this breakup was also hard for him, like it was still beneficial for him, you know? The universe works very harmoniously. And when you are in your most highest expression, it benefits all. So I want you to remember that it's actually selfless to be selfish. And I have a video on that if you want to listen more on that concept. I'll link it above. But this other hack that you can do in terms of figuring out whether a decision will serve you more than another decision, right, is really listen into your body. So I want you to visualize, close your eyes and visualize, how would your life be if you made decision A? And just see how that feels in your body. Like, really listen to your body. Like, your chest might tighten up a bit, or your muscles might tighten up a bit, or you might feel some type of way, or whatever, right? Just listen to your body, really pay attention, and then ask yourself, what would happen if you made, or how would your life be like if you made decision B? And you visualize that and you feel that inside of your body. And there's going to be one decision that feels a little more open, feels a little more expansive, right? So I've done this practice where a decision has made me feel super closed up. And if we look at, I talk about the scale of consciousness all the time, but it's really important, like, point of reference. If we look at the scale of consciousness, we can see at the lower end of the consciousness, it's contracted, right? These lower vibrational energies are more contracted. They're more dense, physically, scientifically When you look at the atoms, they move physically slower, right? On the higher vibrational end of the scale, for the feelings that feel better to us, where we're more in alignment with our soul's purpose and our soul's mission and whatever, it's more expanded. On a scientific level, the atoms actually move faster, more rapidly, right? And so when we think about our body and we think about these decisions that we're going to be making, and the decision that makes you feel more contracted, more closed up, more tense, that's going to be a decision that puts you a little lower, okay? On like a lower path. This is not bad per se. It's just a different path, but it may not be one that you may like as much as the other one, okay? And there's going to be another decision that feels more open, that feels more expansive, that feels better, right? In your body. Like sometimes my chest will literally like open up, like I'll just feel more expansive, and it's a little hard to put this into words, but I think when you feel it, you will understand. But one of these will feel more expansive. And I've done this practice where like both feel expansive. Both decisions that I'm thinking about making will feel expansive, but one decision will feel even more expansive, right? And I'm like, okay, that's the one that's gonna put me on an even higher path, you know? And if you're like really struggling, like still really back and forth, I just want you to know. My friend Raheli was talking to me about this the other day, and I was like, you know what, that's so like effing true. She was saying how whatever decision you make is the right decision because it is the decision that you made. Meaning not one decision is going to completely F up your life, okay? Not one decision is going to completely like put you on a totally different path where you're all of a sudden like so miserable. If you have the belief system that you are always working on yourself, that life is only going to get better and better, that the universe has your back, if you have those like core belief systems, no matter what decision you make, you're going to be directed to your highest path. You're going to be directed to what you were meant to experience and see and live, right? Like there are a multitude of paths to your quote unquote success, to where you want to go. When really, I know like life is more about the journey and not the end goal, but still like we all have like places we want to go, right? Things we want to accomplish in this life. And I really want to like get the point across that there's so many ways to your success. So like whatever decision you make is going to be the right decision, okay? If I was really meant to be with my ex and I decided to follow the decision of breaking up with him, if I was really meant to be with him, we would have found our way back, okay? But what had happened is we broke up and I felt so much at ease. I felt so much at peace. I felt so good. Not because he was a terrible person, but because I knew that was the right decision. And I also want to note that I didn't feel that right away. Like I was still feeling with all the fear and all the ego thoughts and all the worries and the grief, of course, and all of that. But as long as you keep your focus on where you want to go, like the universe will work with you. The universe will work with whatever decision you want to make. This isn't to say, of course, you should be just willy-nilly making whatever decision because you're like, well, the universe has got me. Like the universe is still gonna, like you still have to go halfway for the universe to meet you halfway, right? But as long as you are doing your best intention to move forward in the positive direction, like the universe will work to redirect you and to make things happen for you. Because again, there are a multitude of paths to your success. If you decide to not do one thing, the universe is like, okay, different path. Let me open up these 3 different doors of opportunity for this person now so that they can get here, right? It's not going to be, since this person didn't make this decision, oh my God, like you're not going to live up to your potential and you're not going to do all the things that you wanted to because of this one decision and you are doomed. Like it is not like that, okay? The universe has your back. The universe has got you. They will redirect you, like your guides will redirect you if you are truly meant to be on a path and you make a different decision, okay? So don't stress about it too much. Utilize that practice to see how you feel in your body. Really see like what these thoughts are stemming from. If you have a thought to make decision A and thoughts to make decision B, which thoughts are stemming from where? Which thoughts are stemming from fear and which thoughts are really stemming from potential, possibility, excitement, love? How do you feel about each decision, right? How does your body feel about each decision, okay? Really reflect on this, and I'm willing to bet you will gain so much more clarity on which decision will serve you better for your highest good and for the collective's highest good, okay? So if you like this video, let me know in the comments below. Seriously, if you do not follow me on Instagram, follow me, send me a DM and let me know like what you like about my videos, what you like about my content, what you want to see more of. Like I love getting to know you guys, so don't hesitate. I'm pretty friendly, and share this video with anyone you feel may want to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button if you really like me, okay? That would really make my heart happy. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.